Rocky islets, formed millions of years ago between the Korean Peninsula and Japan, are again at the center of a bitter dispute between Seoul and Tokyo. Here to tell you why and more about the Dokdo islets, I'm Alex Jensen for North Korea Now. This week, South Korea wrapped up its two-day East Sea Territory Protection Exercise, the largest ever version of the Dokdo Defense Drills that have been taking place twice a year since 1986, usually in June and December. But the exercise came just after Seoul announced it wouldn't be renewing a military intelligence sharing agreement with Tokyo. So Japan would have been extra sensitive, as it's never happy about the Dokdo drills anyway, and that's because it claims the islets as Japanese territory and calls them Takeshima. Not only is this a bitter territorial dispute, but it has come to represent the unhealed rift between the two sides since Korea was liberated from Japanese colonial rule at the end of World War II. It's that rift that's affecting diplomatic, trade and military ties, going beyond the physical significance of the islets themselves, which are small enough to fit on the site of New York's Grand Central Terminal, as National Geographic put it. But South Korea certainly put on a show of force for this latest drill. All three services of the armed forces were included, as well as the Marine Corps and the Coast Guard, making up twice as many troops as seen in previous drills, not to mention hardware like F-15K warplanes and a 7,600-ton Aegis-equipped destroyer. Seoul's official line is that the exercise wasn't aimed at any particular country, and to be fair, it was only last month that a Russian military plane violated airspace above the islets, while China and Russia carried out a first joint air patrol nearby. Japan protested against the drill, though, via a foreign ministry official, claiming the islets are obviously part of Japanese territory in light of historic facts and international law. But is that so obvious? South Korea argues exactly the opposite, that history, geography and law are in favor of Dokdo being Korean. Local media have been pointing out details like how in 1877 Japan issued a decree confirming the islets were not Japanese, and that they were annexed to Japan's Shimane prefecture ahead of the 1905 Russo-Japanese War. International media have also taken interest. The BBC cited South Korea as claiming Dokdo was recognized by Japan as Korean territory in 1696 following a fishing dispute, but it also pointed out a counter-Japanese claim dating back to the 17th century and the fact that the islets were not included in territory to be returned to Korea in a post-World War II US treaty. Still, the South has not been prevented from ruling over and guarding the territory since the 1950s, when it was already clear that South Korea considered the matter to be beyond either negotiation or arbitration. That the islets remain under Korean control today arguably reflects several factors, including the higher moral ground of being liberated from Japanese colonial rule and the fact that the islets are much closer to the nearest South Korean territory than that of Japan. Yet, with Japan marking Takeshima on a map on the 2020 Tokyo Games website, it looks like there will be more at stake over the next year than just Olympic medals.